Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of Facebook Live. Yesterday's On the Money show focused on the types of risks that people may be assuming, the hidden risk in retirement, things you might not think of that could seriously impact your retirement lifestyle. You know, when you mention risk in retirement planning, the first thing that comes to mind is stock market or investment risk. We'll talk about a few of them today, as there are quite a few, but then we're going to also delve into some of the other risks that people don't even think of. When you talk about investment risk, first thing that comes to mind is market risk. And you could have three types of that. You could have equity risk, a decline in the market. You could have interest rate risk. If interest rates go up and you're in bonds, bonds could go down. You could also have currency risk if you own foreign investments. The second type of investment risk is liquidity risk. I mean, the risk of being able to sell your investment at a fair price, get your money out when you want to. You could have concentration risk, the risk of loss because your money is concentrated in one investment or type of investment. Think Enron. You could also have credit risk, the risk that the government entity or company that issued your bond runs into financial difficulties, won't be able to pay the interest. You could have reinvestment risk. Again, if rates are rising as we expect them to do, reinvesting principal or income at a lower interest rate down the road. You could have inflation risk, that your investments are not keeping up with inflation. You could have the time horizon risk. It may be shortened because of an unforeseen event, such as the loss of your job. You could have longevity risk. Obviously, the longer you live, the risk of outliving your savings comes into play. And finally, foreign investment risk, the risk of investing in foreign countries and the things that happen in those countries that could affect your money. That's all different types of investment risk. But the things that people don't think about are personal and family risk. How about employment risk? You know how many people we've seen over the last couple of years told us they were going to work till 65 or 66 years old and got downsized, weren't able to contribute to their plans as long as they wanted. Big risks today, especially in the marketplace we find ourselves. Longevity risk. Again, we're living a lot longer today. Longevity will increase every other risk you face, the risk of needing care, the risk that the market will crash, the risk that inflation could do a number on your fixed income. How about the death of a spouse? I mean, we've seen this happen time and time again in my own family. One spouse dies, you're losing a lot of the income. That's a risk many people don't think of. Change in marital status. Believe it or not, we had a call today about a couple, 65 plus years old, getting a divorce. It happens. You think that doesn't upset somebody's retirement plan? You think the expenses are going to be the same? Big risks that you find yourself going through. How about unforeseen needs of family members? Again, very, very common today. Maybe you're caring for your parents. Maybe you're helping your kids out. Maybe their marriage has failed. Maybe they have a problem with a child, a special needs child. You've got to help the kids out. These are all risks that people don't see coming. And then you've got health care and housing risks. Unexpected health care needs and costs. I mean, obviously, they're unexpected for a reason. You think you're going to be healthy for the next 10 to 15 years, something happens, and you've got some more money that has to go out the door. How about change in housing needs, such as assisted living, independent living, assisted living, full-scale nursing care? All these things come into play. And finally, how about lack of available facilities or caregivers? Depending upon where you live, you might not have the appropriate facilities. Then you have financial risks, inflation risk we touched upon, stock market risk. How about business risk? The loss of pension funds can occur if the pension fund is insolvent. We see this with the pilots, with the airlines today. Public policy risk. What if they decide to curtail Social Security or rein back some of the benefits? So even the best laid retirement plans can fail as a result of unexpected risks. And although some risks can be minimized through careful planning, many potential risks are out of our control. Again, the old adage that my mother said, hope for the best, but always plan for the worst. This is another edition of Facebook Live.